What's up guys, Justin here, coming at you with my room tour. Now this is easily the #1 most requested video on this channel, so I definitely wanted to get this out for you guys. I have my cousin down here today helping me out with some of the camera work so you guys can actually see me periodically throughout the video. We also have some really nice studio lights down here, so hopefully this room tour will turn out a little more professional than the last one. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and let's check it out. So I figured since this is the section of the room that you guys see in the background of all of our videos, what better place to start the room tour, right? This is kind of the pride and joy of my collection here. It's the majority of my NES and my Super Nintendo collection, so let's take a look. So I'm actually going to start this out with something that you guys don't see in every one of our videos, and that is my little work desk area over here. I actually picked up this desk from Goodwill. And up on top here is where I keep all my recent pickups, so stuff I still have to show in a video. There's a little sneak preview for you guys, although who knows when this video will get uploaded anyway. Moving down here we have my laptop, some packing supplies, got a couple of postal scales under here, all my cleaning and organizational stuff down here, and then finally in these two boxes down here I have all of my loose manuals and posters and whatnot. So moving over to this bookshelf here, up on top I have my boxed Game Genie for the Game Boy, a few puzzles there, and actually my complete box Game Boy system. Got a couple plushes over here and some figures. That cow there is actually from Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. So moving down to the next shelf is where I keep all my DS stuff, and I really only collect complete in box DS games, so all these here are complete. And then next to it we got my Guitar Hero stuff, my couple boxed systems, and my Game Boy Advance SP in that Pokemon case there. The next shelf down has all my complete in box Game Boy and Virtual Boy games, so I'll pick out a couple of these to show. This one here is actually Survival Kids. We got DuckTales down there in the dark corner, Fist of the North Star, Metroid 2, Super Mario Land, Yoshi's Cookie. And I guess the only Virtual Boy game that I really have that's worth showing is my complete in box Mario Tennis here, which was only available through Blockbuster. And that's really the only rare or expensive Virtual Boy game I have anyway. And then down here, the last two shelves are all my Nintendo Powers, magazines, strategy guides, that kind of stuff. These here actually are Midwest Gaming Classic tickets. So moving over to the next shelf here is all of my loose cartridge Super Nintendo stuff. Up on top I have my Mario Paint here. I'm missing the cardboard insert for this, so I'm looking for one of those or a completely new one to replace this. Behind it is my only box Super Nintendo system. I'd love to get like a box Model 2 or some of the variants of that box. In this game holder here, I have my loose cartridges that I feel are just a little more worth displaying. I actually keep my really expensive ones elsewhere, which I'll show in a few minutes here. And then these shelves here contain all my loose cartridge Super Nintendo games. I'm not going to take the time to show each one individually, but they're all in alphabetical order. And actually part of my reorganizing renovation project is I wanted to make some more room for some more stuff, some better stuff. So I actually left the bottom shelf empty there, obviously anticipating getting some more games in the near future. So, moving left, up on top here we have my spinning NES game holder. I like to keep all my black box games in here. I think it looks pretty cool, at least all the ones that'll fit up here. Yoshi up top there, How to Win at Nintendo Games. My complete box challenge set, that was actually a Goodwill find. I think I paid $10 for that. Definitely one of the better finds I've had from there. And then some miscellaneous stuff that I've gotten in trades with YouTubers and whatnot. And then here is my boxed Super Nintendo collection. I do apologize for the glare. It's mainly just on the top row here because of the box protectors that they're in, but I'll show these ones in a little more detail. We got the Donkey Kong trilogy there, Artie Lightfoot, that one's pretty hard to find in box. Eek the Cat. We got Breath of Fire over here. Coming down here, the Jetsons, that's another pretty hard one to find. Joe and Mac, that one's cool. Mohawk and Headphone Jack, that's kind of an uncommon game there. Phalanx, which possibly has the worst box art of all time. Pirates of the Dark Water there. I keep these ones up here. I'm actually missing inserts for those, so once I get those inserts I'll put those in their proper spot. But got Star Fox, a couple of the Street Fighter games there, Robo Trek, it's a cool RPG there, Secret of Mana. Shout out to Machine Games Texas for hooking up with the manual for that one. Spanky's Quest, Mario All-Stars, Mario RPG, Here is my Super Metroid. I'm looking to upgrade the condition of that one though. My Super Metroid redesign that I got from Time Walk Games, Super Troll Islands, Wario's Woods, and this is a really good game here too. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. Zardion is what I've always said, but I picked that up at the Midwest Gaming Classic. Really cool game. And then just like the other shelf, I left the bottom shelf empty, obviously anticipating picking up some more box games in the near future. And finally, moving over to this shelf here is all my loose cartridge NES games. So we can all say hi to Billy Mitchell up here in the hot sauce. Like, I'm not going to show these all individually, but I'll just give you guys a general preview here. These are all in alphabetical order as well, which is kind of a pain, obviously, when I get a new one and I have to put it in its proper place, but it works. I keep all my, I don't want to say my more expensive games, but yeah, the better ones, the more expensive ones, the rarer ones in these plastic cases here, Dragon Warrior 4 there. I really don't have a whole lot of quality NES cartridges, to be honest with you. And unlike the other shelves, I'm running out of room desperately on this one. I don't even know if I can hold another game in there, so I'll have to figure out something to do should I pick up another NES game in the near future. But anyway, that pretty much does it for that wall. Again, this is the view you guys have in all of our videos that I filmed, so let's keep moving. So moving on over here, I have my awesome Zelda Skyward Sword poster, and I have to admit I have not gotten a chance to play the game yet because I don't have a Wii Motion Plus controller, but I'm working on it. And when we get over here to this corner, we have all of my plastic containers full of gaming goodness. I always pick up these plastic containers if I see them at Goodwill or garage sales or whatever for cheap because they make great storage for video games. So let's take a look inside. So let's take a look in these plastic drawers over here. Up on top, it's going to be kind of hard to show, but I have my loose cartridge Game Boy games in these. This drawer and this drawer are actually full. Of course, when you're putting them in these plastic holders, you're kind of limits how many you can put in a single drawer, but this one's full, and this one is slowly filling up. I'm going to hop up here so I can show you guys this next drawer a little bit better. In here is where I keep some of my more, highly cherished stuff I don't want to have on display, all the time. Anyway, we got StarCraft 64, Play Fighter Sculptor's Cut, Worms Armageddon, my boxed 4 Sword Adventures for the GameCube, and then back here I have my Complete in Box Chrono Trigger, and everything is in here. Same goes for this one here, my Complete in Box Ogre Battle, everything is in there. Shout out to Married Guy Gamer as well for hooking me up with those boxes, I really appreciate it. And then in the back here we got my Conker's Bad Fur Day, and over here is my Magic Knight Ray Earth for the Saturn. So like I said, I kind of keep my really expensive loose cartridge Super Nintendo stuff elsewhere. I keep it in here for mainly protection purposes, but we got Mega Man X2, Castlevania Dracula X, Harvest Moon, Mega Man 7, and then way in the back here is my Earthbound. The rest of these games in here, we got Breathfire 2, Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dream Land 3, Rock and Roll Racing, excellent game there. This one here is actually kind of hard to read, but it's Incantation. Both of the Lufia games there, Mega Man X3. I'm still looking to upgrade this cartridge. As you can see, it's kind of jacked up there, but it's the only one I've ever come across. So we also got Demon's Crest and Soul Blazer, and then Pocky Rocky back there. And then in this drawer here, I have empty cases, empty boxes, not a whole lot of them, but just looking for cartridges and manuals and inserts for these. And then to be completely honest, these next 4 drawers here, 5 drawers actually, are all empty. They were filled with stuff at one point, but now they're kind of on reserve for whatever I might need them for. Down here is where I keep all my import stuff. I'm not a huge import guy. I've honestly never really played most of these, but got some cool stuff in here. PAL Hybrid Heaven, and I don't keep like all the import stuff I get, but Street Fighter, Dragon Quest games, and a couple Mega Drive games back there, and got some box Famicom stuff too. Super Bomberman 2. And then finally in the very bottom drawer over here is Xbox, PlayStation, Wii, controllers and accessories and whatnot, PlayStation, and plus just a bunch of stuff in here. So moving on up here, got a bunch of my plushes and whatnot, a couple duplicates actually, and then just some various stuff, hats and other stuff that you find at garage sales and Goodwill and stuff that you can't pass up if it's cheap. And in this first drawer here is my N64 systems. At least some of them anyway. Ideally, I'd like to get, all these systems boxed. I think they display a whole lot better than I wouldn't, keep them in a drawer then, obviously. But my Pikachu one over there, that's still the one I found at the garage sale back when I first started the channel. And then down here is all of the controllers for the systems, and along with some other various accessories, memory pack, transfer pack there, and light for my Hey You Pikachu and all the adapters and whatnot for the systems down there. Now this drawer is really cool. Definitely one of my favorite drawers. This is all of my sealed games. I just like to keep all my sealed stuff together. So we got Mario All-Stars for the Wii Last Story, Kirby's Dream Collection. This is my Shining Force that I honestly still cannot tell you if it's factory sealed or not. You know, I bought it as sealed, but I've never been able to confirm it. But for the price I got it for, it didn't matter to me. GameCube games there, some sealed Wii stuff. I'm really not trying to collect the Wii games sealed, but you know, if I find them sealed for roughly the same price as they are open, I just go ahead and pick them up new. Some sealed Super Nintendo and N64 games there. My only sealed Genesis game, one Game Boy game, and my only sealed Virtual Boy game, Virtual League Baseball. And then here, these are kind of cool. There's a couple homebrew Dreamcast games, Phantasy Star as well. NBA, Space Channel 5. I never really understood this game. It's got kind of a cool cover there, though, if I can make it do the little, there we go, little leg kick. Second Marine Fishing, Ooga Booga, and All-Star Slam and D-Ball, the only sealed PlayStation game that I own currently. So moving down underneath that is where I keep all of my extra GameCube stuff, my black system there, along with all the different controllers that I have. Orange one down there. This Wavebird's getting pretty corroded. We gotta replace that one. A couple game cases there. I keep my memory cards in these, and then my Game Boy player and my microphone down there. In here is my Sega accessories. So we got some Saturn stuff here, both types of controllers, Dreamcast controllers. This is the Saturn multi-tap. I don't think I've ever used that. Genesis multi-tap, Game Shark, Justifier guns, and the Dreamcast light gun there. And that about does it for this section over here. Those two on the bottom are also empty. Again, to be filled with whatever needs to be put in them. So, let's move on. So moving over to where I actually play my video games. This is my entertainment center here. Yes, it is very old school, but then again, I'm mainly a retro collector, so I think it's fitting. Ideally, a nice flat screen up here would be nice, but that's another work in progress. So let's take a closer look over here. So my entertainment center, and for your viewing pleasure, there's Skies of Arcadia for the GameCube on the screen there. But moving up here, start out with my Star Wars Episode 1 limited edition N64 set there. The box is a little bit beat up, but for the price I paid, I really can't complain at all. And shout out to my cousin again for hooking me up with these awesome Beanie Babies. They look really cool up there. And then in these drawers here is where I keep all of my loose cartridge N64 games. And you guys know these do not display well. So I mean, the very best I can do is keep them in these drawers anyway. And yeah, it's a pain when you gotta flip through them and find them, you know, without making end labels for all of them, anything like that. But it gets the job done. I'm actually coming in on a complete N64 collection, at least loose cartridges. These are a couple of the knockoff brand drawers here, but they serve the same purpose. They're just a little bit cheaper. So all those are full, and actually this whole container here is full with the rest of my N64 games. It's kind of cool that you can see through and see some of the titles that are in there. And then up on top is my purple PS2, which has honestly been up there since I bought it at a garage sale last summer. I just think it looks cool up there. I mean, how many people can say they have a purple PS2? And then in this cabinet down here is where I have all my Sega systems hooked up. So there's my Dreamcast, my Saturn with the memory card in it, and my Model 3 Genesis, along with this Class A power strip there. So moving underneath that is where I keep all of my carrying cases for various systems and games. And then moving over here, this drawer is actually a really cool drawer. I don't like to call it my junk drawer because there's actually a lot of cool stuff in here, but it's just basically where I put everything that doesn't have a place elsewhere in the room. So, a bunch of random stuff in here, and again, just a lot of the cheap stuff that you pick up, you know, for like a quarter or 50 cents at a garage sale or whatever. We got a brand new memory card for the Xbox, Zero figure there, which I remember buying this back, you know, way back when I was younger. I wish I wouldn't have opened that, but of course the first thing I wanted to do was play with that, but at least I kept the plastic and everything. N64 headphones, a bunch of like cleaning kits and stuff over here. That was actually, N64 was actually brand new. And then a really cool looking NES controller down there. And then just a bunch of extra NES game cases and whatnot in here. And then finally, in this drawer at the bottom is where I keep my NES and Super Nintendo controllers, accessories, and whatnot. This is actually the DDR mat for the Mario, the GameCube. And then, you know, you got the Game Genies, Super Game Boy, all my NES and Super Nintendo controllers, and other accessories like the multi-taps and stuff. And NES Advantage down there. Flight stick there. So moving over to actually where I have all my other systems hooked up. Up on top here, got a couple power strips along with a couple AV switchers there, and the games that we've been playing recently, I'm not a huge fan of the sports games, but a lot of my buddies are, so we keep them out here. My GameCube, which again is running the skies of Arcadia over there, my PS1, actually this is the original Model 2 Super Nintendo that I've had since a kid. I really wish I would have kept the box for it, obviously, but at least it's still in good shape. I got my Super Metroid redesign in there, my white Wii system, my smoke gray N64 with Mario Kart. That Mario Kart has been in there for a very long time. That's really the only game that's seen any action in that system recently. My NES top loader, and then finally down at the bottom is my green Xbox, the DVD remote there. So that is the overview of my entertainment center there, and let's keep moving. Now this wall over here was the most recently renovated. I moved my box N64 and NES games over here, and also did quite a bit of rearranging with the rest of the stuff, so let's check it out. So this section of the room here is where I house the other bulk of my games. We'll start out up top here with my Sega Dreamcast box. This is actually the box for the system that I have hooked up currently, so I'd like to find another system so I can put the original one back in that box. But next to it there's my Dreamcast keyboard, that's almost brand new, and my complete box Model 2 Genesis system there. So the first shelf on this bookshelf here has my newly relocated box N64 collection. I basically just moved it over here so I'd have some more room for them, but go through these here. I'll try to get rid of the glare as much as I can for you guys. So we got both 007 games there, Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, Castlevania, Cruis'n Exotica, DK64 with the expansion pack in there. Got both the Zeldas. This one here is actually the paper label, non-collector's edition of that one. Mario Golf, Mario Kart 64, and all three of the Mario parties there. And then coming down to this row, Pokemon Snap and Stadium 2, both the Quakes, Road Rash 64. That's actually a pretty fun game. Probably the favorite piece in my N64 collection is my complete box Snowboard Kids 2. It's pretty hard to find. It's a really nice shape and amazing game as well. Super Mario 64, Smash Bros, a couple of the Tony Hawks, and a couple of the Turok there, and then just the last few down here with some room to expand, and my Ocarina of Time Link figure there, and my newly acquired GTA 5 Collector's Edition box, which is just over here because I haven't found anywhere else to put it yet. Looks pretty cool right there. It's just a little bit out of place. The next row down has my boxed NES collection. As I mentioned before, I really wish I had some more quality NES stuff, but that's something I'll be working on in the future. I'll go through these here. This is one of those Aladdin cartridges. That might even be brand new, I'm not even sure. We got Contra there, Kirby's Adventure, and both the Zelda games, and Mega Man 3, 4, and 6. This one here is actually the gray cartridge of Miss Pac-Man. It's a little bit harder to find. Coming down to this row here, we got NES Open, Rampage, Ren and Stimpy Buckaroos. Probably the favorite piece in my NES collection is my Turtles trilogy here. Those are all in really nice shape. Very happy to have those. Both the Tetrises and both the Top Guns. Yoshi down there at the end. That about does it for my boxed NES games. On this next bookshelf here, I've turned this first shelf into kind of my display shelf. I thought it'd be cool to have a shelf like this that I can continually rotate stuff in and out of as I get it. As you can see right now, it's all 360 stuff, but I've been really into collecting the limited editions and the special editions lately for the 360. So my Los Santos hat there, and my GTA 5 money bag with all my YouTube notes in it from you guys. The next shelf down is my Sega Saturn collection. Now, I actually have quite a few more Saturn games than this, but I really only like to put them on the shelf if they have a good looking case and everything. So I've got a bunch of sports games in the other room with crappy cases, but back there we got Baku Baku and Blackfire. I'll just pick out some of the cooler ones here. Clockwork Knight, Darius Guy and Die Hard Arcade, Earthworm Jim 2, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and Panzer Dragoon there. Really looking for Panzer Dragoon 2 and obviously Saga. We got Resident Evil, Sonic 3D Blast, Tomb Raider. Down here on the end is actually Virtual on Cyber Troopers. That's a really cool game. And then the last couple up front here. Starting to have to double them up, but not a huge deal yet. And then on the very bottom we have just some DVDs, CDs, VHS's, promotional stuff, and a couple of books that I've gotten recently and haven't got a chance to look through fully yet. So moving on up here to my Wii collection. You guys have probably seen me pick up most of these in my recent pickup videos, but I'll scroll through them here. Lots of RPGs. I pretty much got all the ones that I'm looking for on the Wii, with the exception of Xenoblade Chronicles, but I really don't want to pay GameStop's price for that, so wait till I find it a little cheaper. And then my Xbox stuff here. So not a whole lot of original Xbox stuff. Just Counter-Strike, GTAs, and all the Outlaw games. Those are all the really ones that I play, but My 360 stuff here, again, you guys have seen me pick up a lot of these recently. Again, lots of RPGs, so I'm still looking for some of the other ones that I haven't found yet. Some room to expand on the 360 shelf there. Everyone say hi to Crash. And moving down to my Genesis collection here, my newly slimmed down Genesis collection. These ones in the back are going to be a little bit harder to show, but hopefully I can get the titles on camera for you guys. Basically, I just got sick of looking at all like the EA sports logos and stuff. You know, I had so many sports games and just so much crap that I decided to slim down and just keep the games that, you know, I'll actually play and the ones that I'm a little more proud to own anyway. So I've got some cool ones here. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. And then 3 of the Mortal Kombats there, and then this one on the end here, Rock and Roll Racing. I definitely recommend this one if you guys ever see it. Pick it up for the Super Nintendo or the Genesis. They play about the same. Sound quality is a little better on the Super Nintendo, obviously, but down here we got Rocket Knight Adventures, Shining Force, Shinobi 3, most of the Sonic games anyway. Street Fighter, Sunset Riders, both the Toe Jam and Earls. And I got to give a shout out to my brother actually for hooking me up. He made me these really nice shelves here for my Genesis games. Before I was just using like the small flat rate boxes to prop up the games in the back row. It looked cool, it's just kind of tacky, so glad he made me these shelves. I might paint them black to match the color of the shelf as well. Speaking of my brother, I got to give him another shout out for this Red Bull light that he hooked me up with. That's really cool too. And then over here up on top we got both my Lunars for the PS1 and then the rest of my PS1 games down here. So as I'm scrolling through these, I'll just explain that recently I slimmed down my PS1 collection as well. And, you know, at one point it was cool to have, you know, this entire shelf full of PS1 games, but it got to the point where I was like, you know, I'm never going to play most of these, so I decided to slim down. I just kept the ones that, you know, games that I like to play, unique titles that I know I'll want to play in the future, and then all the rarer and the harder to find games I held on to. So you'll see like a lot of RPGs in here and stuff, but it's definitely way more quality over quantity now. And then just the last few down here, and then the next shelf down has my Dreamcast collection. Now I wouldn't mind having a complete Dreamcast collection. There's just so many less games and so much less crap on it that generally I'll pick up all the Dreamcast games I see if I don't already have them, as long as they're a good price. But so I've got some cool ones, D2, both the Evolution games there, Gauntlet Legends, GTA. These ones with the orange spines here are actually homebrew games, so those are cool, unique pieces to have there. Both disc variants of the Mortal Kombat Gold, Power Stone there, Resident Evil Code Veronica. This one here without a spine is actually my Shenmue. I don't know what happened to the spine on that one. I'm looking to upgrade that one. Here's Skies of Arcadia for the Dreamcast here. This is easily one of the best RPGs I've ever played, so definitely pick that one up if you see it. And then the last few down here, a couple of Sonics. I'm still looking for Sonic Adventure 2 actually. Zombie Revenge on the end. Got that one just recently. And then finally we have my PS1 long box games. Now these are I generally, as you can see, I have some sports in there and stuff, but I generally like pick up the long box games if I see them. I think they're cool. And then I have some better ones as well, Resident Evil there and Tekken. So that about does it for this wall over here. So just a quick overview one more time, and let's move on. So moving past the good old Mountain Dew mini fridge here into the what I like to call the darker corner of the game room. I'm glad we have these lights in here today so I can show you guys everything that's over here, because this is the other pride and joy of my collection, so let's check it out. So this is what I like to call the darker corner of the game room here. Actually, if I didn't have these lights on behind me, you probably wouldn't be able to see any of this, but I do have a light up here. It's just not wired correctly right now, so I'll make that my next project. But over here you got the Mountain Dew mini fridge, and then this desk here is what I used to use when I did like system repairs and stuff. You can see I got a couple systems taken apart over there. I don't do a whole lot with that anymore, but it's nice to have this desk anyway. I can put all my tools in here, so my game bit and whatnot in there. And then underneath here is my junk box. Everything in here is defective, but me being me, I can't bring it upon myself to throw away anything video game related, so it just goes in the junk box. And then over here we've got most of my box systems and accessories. So we'll go ahead and start up here with the U-Force. I believe everything is in here. I think it might be missing the insert, but I've tried this out. I mean, it works, kind of. That guy seems to be having fun. Someone tell me what game he's playing. It's kind of a crappy angle. I can't tell what it is, but I'm sure someone will get it. But then underneath that we got both my Guitar Heroes for the Wii. I got those at the midnight releases. And then my Wii system box there. Down here we got DK Bongos. I really don't have a need for 4 of them, but they look pretty cool there anyway. Next shelf down has 2 boxed Super Advantage controllers. I actually got these on Yahoo Auctions way back when. That was a long time ago. I've had those forever. And then this here is my Metroid Prime bonus bundle Platinum GameCube there, which is complete inside of there. Got a couple different boxed NES sets here. This one here is the action set with the gray zapper, and then behind it is the action set with the orange zapper gun. Both of those are fully complete. Down here we've got a extra Virtual Boy system I have, and then I actually have another Virtual Boy system in this Blockbuster case that has, you know, the stand and the eyepiece and the power cord and whatnot in there. And then in front of it is where I keep my boxed Power Glove. Obviously the box isn't in the greatest shape, but this isn't something you see every day, so I'm glad to have it. This here is just one of those cheap plastic, like NES Entertainment Center things that's just taking up too much room, honestly. But moving up over here, we got my Super Scope in the box there. I believe that's fully complete. And my Sega Menacer gun. That's also complete. I think I might be missing the insert for that one. So we got some PlayStation stuff on this shelf. I actually have 2 box systems here. They're both the original models of the system. And then I have the boxed LCD screen. I picked this up from Married Guy Gamer, along with these 2 brand new PS1 controllers. Got 2 of them, they're both the same. Coming down here, we got my 360 box. I actually have this system hooked up upstairs. I have a flat screen up there, so I prefer to play it on that as opposed to down here. And Street Fighter 2, the board game back there. And then over here is my Fusion Power A360 controller. We got the Sega Genesis activator here. I've actually hooked this up and used it. It works kind of about as much as you would expect it to, but it's a cool piece to have anyway. And then down here we got some Saturn and Dreamcast stuff, so my Virtual Cop box set there. Brand new VMU, box RF adapter. Got a few brand new VMUs over here actually as well. A couple box controllers here. And then we have Seaman, which is by far one of the most bizarre games I have ever played and probably will ever play. But that about does it for the dark corner anyway, so just a quick overview one more time. And we will move on. So moving past Iggy and my Rockstar cutout, I have my shelf of doubles here, which as you can see is fairly empty at the moment. It's kind of the dead of winter up here, but normally during the summer and the garage sale season this is a lot more full. And then up here on the wall, on my custom-made purple shelves, we have my GameCube collection, so let's check it out. So under my Zelda 3D poster here, we have my bookshelf of doubles. Obviously this is constantly changing and there's really not a whole lot going on this shelf right now. It's kind of the dead of winter up here, but in this box is where I keep all the handheld stuff. Again, not a whole lot going on in there. And then over here, proudly on display, is my Lizzie McGuire 3 Homecoming Havoc, factory sealed for the Game Boy Advance. That about does it for that shelf there. But moving on over here to my Nintendo GameCube collection. I've got about 250 to 275 games on these custom-made shelves here. So not nearly all of them, but I think it'd be really cool to end up with a complete GameCube collection. I just love how uniform the cases look on the shelf, and there's actually a lot of really, really solid titles on the GameCube. So all these are somewhat in alphabetical order. You can see I started having to stack them on top of each other here, and when I did that I kind of lost track of the alphabetical order, so I keep telling myself I'm going to go through one day and organize them again, but who knows when that'll actually happen. Coming down to the end here, so that there is my GameCube collection, and let's move on to the final part of the room tour. And the final stop on the room tour is the bizzNES17 bathroom, so let's head in. The bizzNES17 bathroom. That down there is actually a functional toilet, although no one ever uses it. And coming over here, we got all the flat rate boxes here. Even if I'm not selling systems or whatever, I like to keep the complete systems in these flat rate boxes. It just keeps them organized, and the boxes are free, so why not? Packing supplies there. Random boxes of stuff up here. I think I even have a pink Game Boy over here at the moment, and a Yahtzee. And then down here in the sink is my GameStop lanyard, and all of my defective discs. Pretty much all these are scratched beyond repair. We got everything in here from PlayStation, Dreamcast, Saturn, GameCube stuff, Smash Bros. Disc there. Usually I just wait till I get a whole bunch for one system, then I can normally find something to do with them. So moving over here, a bunch of other boxes. I'm not going to open all these, but I'll give you guys a general idea. Some import Game Boy stuff there, a bunch of Game Gear games. Over here on top of the toilet is my giant box of manuals. These are all extra manuals that I have for pretty much any system. and then also some case artwork there. Next to it is my mini crate of jewel cases and jewel case components for replacing Dreamcast and PS1 games and whatnot. And then here is the bathtub. As you can see, pretty much unusable right now, but I guess we'll start over here. We've got all first party AC, AV cords in there. Shout out to my buddy Alex for organizing these for me. He put rubber bands on all of them so they're not tangled. Definitely appreciate it. Back here's that box I was talking about with all the cheaper Sega CD and Sega Saturn games that I just pretty much use for the cases. Next to that here is this crate of all empty cases, so no games in any of these. There's a lot of them in here. In front of that is a bunch of third-party stuff and just some more bulkier stuff like Game Boy players and whatnot. Over here is all third-party accessories, power adapters, AV cords, whatnot. This little box here is actually damaged to games. You can see got chips out of the Game Boy games there. That Dragon Warrior's cracked as well. And then this is like the miscellaneous crate here. There's everything in here from sealed manuals to sealed accessories, code books and whatnot down there. Just a bunch of random stuff, cases, and covers for games and systems. So moving over here to this mini crate, another miscellaneous crate, just some smaller stuff in there. Back here is actually these are actually all broken first party controllers. I keep these all in one place just because, you know, usually the first party ones you can do something with if you get a bunch of them. And then finally this whole crate here of working first party controllers. There's a lot of them in here too for pretty much any different system. That goes all the way to the bottom there. But there you have it, guys. While we were in the bathroom, we might as well conclude the bizzNES17 room tour. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and checking out the whole room tour. I really do appreciate it. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, take care.